Hello everyone. So in the last video we have had a look on the fundamentals of IR sensor and the receiver. Okay, sensor and IR sensor pair, that means IR transmitter and receiver, and how these IR rays are coming back to the receiver and how that coming back, okay, the falling of the IR rays on the receiver will change the resistance of the receiver, and also how the resistance change will affect the voltage across the receiver, and that in other words will affect the analog read input values, how they are affected. Okay, so though I said you an assumption of the voltage change, that increasing decreasing direction, I asked you to I told you can manually do it and find out whether the voltage is increasing or not when there is an object. Okay, or in another word, whether the voltage is increasing or not when the object is removed. Okay, so then you will get a full picture of this flow. Okay, so anyway, I said, as I remember, most probably when the resistance increase, voltage is supposed to be increasing. When the resistance is going down, voltage is supposed to going to be down. This is not 100% sure, but from my understanding I am telling it. Anyway, you can check and confirm. Okay, so wait, so if you want to check it, if you want to work with that, then you need a circuit, right? You have two LEDs, or let's say IR emitter and transmitter, and you don't know how to connect them. So that is a problem. Maybe the emitter, I'm sorry guys, you can feel like, okay, there's a plus and minus negative what you call terminals. Okay, so I will connect the plus terminal with the resistor to plus 5 voltage, and the negative terminal I can connect to the ground. So I'm talking about this. So okay, maybe here you can see and find out the lengthy difference in the terminals, and you can take the lengthier one as the plus, and you may connect the 330 ohm resistor with the plus 5 pin, and the other side you may connect to the ground. That will switch on an LED, obviously. So then, since this is an IR LED, you may think, okay, I can connect it like this. So how can you connect the receiver? You don't know. Okay, so it is not rocket science, but still you don't know. So the only thing you know is, okay, we can connect it somehow, and how this thing works, and also I can take the input from the receiver and the voltage change, then I can find out if there is an object or not. Okay, I can manually do it and calibrate, and I can create a system in a way that can find an object within a range or not. Okay, you understand that? Okay, right, fine. So now the question, okay, how we can connect this arises now. Okay, for that there is a solution. Okay, I'm sorry guys. Even though you have this component separately, nowadays in the market you can buy something called module. Okay, so module means what? They take those components, whatever you need, and they make the basic circuit you need to create. Okay, and all you have to do is you just have to connect that circuit with your Arduino. Okay, so what I'm saying is they simply do this. Okay, so they take those two pins and they take a board. Okay, let's say a PCB board or a metal board, and they create the necessary connections that you are thinking of. Okay, how I had to connect a resistor, and I'm sorry, please excuse me for this drawing. I have to connect a resistor and some things. Okay, so they make all the connections, and they embed these sensors. Okay, transmitter and receiver here. Okay, they embed it and they create the respective connections. Okay, whatever you want to take, they give. Okay, here. So then they will give you some output pins for you. Okay, they will say, okay, this is, see, I am giving 3 or 4 pins. You can connect the pins directly to the Arduino. So you don't have to create separate circuit for this. You don't have to manually create a resistor for this, or maybe sending it to ground and connecting it to something else, connecting this to something else, and taking the output analog out wire, and you don't have to create all this nonsense. Okay, so they say we will create it and we will give you as a module, IR sensor pair module. You can simply take the pins from there and connect. So what they will give you, the pin is most probably VCC they will give. So VCC means what? VCC means plus 5, and they will give you ground. So I'm not writing in the order of the pins, I'm just randomly writing. Okay, ground, and they will give you the value taking pins. So let's say this is the analog input value. Okay, so they will give us this is the value coming from the sensor, so you can take it and read. So this value will be which value? This value will be this value. This is a 0 value. Okay, that you are reading. They will tell like this. Okay, sometimes they will give an extra pin. I will tell you what. Okay, So this is how you are supposed to work with the modules. Okay, so this makes things very easy. So if you search for IR sensor pair module, you will find a number of pictures. So you will find a picture like this. Okay, so you can see this. So this goes along with the picture that I explained, right? So this is the module. You can see, you see they are giving you a VCC pin. So you see, look at the pin, guys. So the first pin is, you can see something is written here, right? So VCC, and the second pin is ground. So VCC is the supply pin. You have to connect it to +5 voltage of the Arduino, and the ground pin should go to the ground pin of the Arduino. Okay, then the output pin should be going to whatever the input you are going to read. Okay, so this is how the module is coming. So you don't have to create any circuits. Okay, so you can see the black LED and the receiver. Okay, you can see the emitter and the receiver here, right? They have embedded here in the board. You understand? So from here to here they have done everything, and they are giving you the module, please, so that you can work on the way you want it. Okay, so still I want to say you something. There are few modules, they are having 4 pins. So this module has only 3 pins. You can notice it. Okay, so the VCC and ground is common, everyone has to use it. Okay, in both modules it should be there, but the other 2 pins, okay, here we have only 1 more pin for the output, but some modules have 2 pins. Okay, so why it is there's a thing I wanted to tell you. When there is 4 pins, we are sure 1 pin is for our particular analog input value. Okay, AI to the Arduino. Okay, we can take the analog input using that pin. The second pin, what they do is they have a scenario inside, and they will give this input as digital input. So you can take the digital value from this. So you may wonder, how can an IR sensor give us a digital input? Well, that is against the rule, right? I mean, we didn't study like that. I explained you about the analog scenarios, right? So how can it give you a digital input? Let's not talk about that now, guys. Okay, please remember. Okay, we will study it. We will come to know about it once we studied digital input topic. We didn't study it yet. We studied digital output, analog output, and analog input is going now. Once we completed digital input, we will worry about that. So for the moment, you don't have to worry about this pin. Okay, so you can take the analog input, and you know how to read the analog input values, right? Okay, and you can read the value of the sensor and the IR sensor pair. Okay, the receiver value. Okay, analog value. So then you can keep an object in front of the module, and you can see what is the analog input value you are getting. You can remove the object or bring the object little far and see what is analog value. I mean, how the values are changing. Or you can bring it closer and see. Okay, so that is something else. Okay, that is what we actually want to do. So the 4th pin, okay, the digital output input pin, we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so for sensor it is output pin, for Arduino it is input pin. You know that. Okay, that's fine. But when there is 3 pins, they have only said out. So we don't know whether it is analog pin or digital pin. Okay, in this case, most of the time they are giving us the digital output pins. That means this is a pin, this is giving a digital signal from the receiver value. Okay, so Arduino analog pins, analog input, analog read scenario will not read this, as I taught. So if you have a 3 pin, you have to wait until I teach you digital input scenarios. Okay, so according to Arduino, this is a digital input value. For the sensor, it is digital output. Sensor's output is going to Arduino's input. Okay, so we didn't study it, so we can't study about that now. But you can also find some modules, okay, IR module that have 4 pins. Okay, so 1 extra pin. So the extra pin is the pin for analog output. So they will separately mention, okay, this is analog output or analog input to Arduino, and this is digital input. So you don't have to connect this pin to Arduino, but you can take this pin, analog pin. So this analog output of the sensor will be analog input to the Arduino. So you can connect this pin to A0 or something, and you can read the analog value, and you can proceed. So that flow you know, because we studied a lot of about analog input. Okay, so simply you can take such a module, connect it here, write according to read the analog values and serial println, and then you can test by holding an object in front of the sensor, changing the distance of the object object from the sensor, and remove the object and see how these analog input values or system, see, that means these what you call serial print values are changing. You can see. Okay guys, so I'm stopping the video here. You can rewatch the video to understand again this properly, and I'm stopping it here. We will further study on this in the next video, guys. Until then, stay safe and consider subscribing us guys. Stay safe.